Welcome to episode 3 of the Nitro project. It's been a long time since I've actually worked on this. There's a big layer of dust on it. Simply because I haven't had a chance to fix it yet. The pull start is a bit iffy now, and it was really struggling to start a while ago. I actually tried to run it and it just wouldn't work at all. So what I've done is, this was all off camera, I actually took the motor out. I've put all the settings on this effectively carburetor sort of thing. I've set that all back to factory settings, taped it up and just left it setting to fit this. This is the new Roto-start that I'm going to fit on my Bullet. It's basically a lot better than the pull start because it just runs by a shaft that spins. That spins the piston up and down, sucks the air and fuel in, and the glow plug on the top ignites the fuel and air mixture and gets it going. So this is what I'm going to be fitting today. I have no idea how to do it. There's no instructions included with this. All I've got to work on is the exploded out view in the manual. So hopefully it's going to be pretty easy to fit. But yeah, you're going to be discovering this with me pretty much. And then I'm going to get this put back in, hopefully get it running before the snow hits so I can actually do some snow videos with it. So yeah, shall we get started? So the first step is obviously to take this old one off. It's what it says in the instruction book. There's there's actually three screws, 3 hex screws holding it in. So I'm going to undo those now. Got my team associated hex driver here, and we'll go for that one. Get it right first time? Yeah. Now these may be held in with Loctite. It does say to do it in the instructions, but whether they did it from the factory I don't know. Doesn't feel like they did, but we'll soon find out. Tell you what, it's going to be quicker with my screwdriver. Swap that over to this is my Bosch IXO. Make sure it's going the right way. There you go. That's one. And looks like they weren't held in with Loctite from the factory, so that's what I will be doing when I fit that back plate in. Not very long, so, and the last one. So move them out of the way. Let's see what we find under here. So this is the first time I'm seeing what's underneath it. So we'll pull that off. Okay, so that's obviously there's a big sort of bolt there that obviously spins the crank inside and moves the piston up and down, and that's basically all one sealed unit. So you can see there, there's probably a spring in there, there's a string around there, but that's just all. I'm pulling it pretty hard there and it's not moving at all, and then it lurches like that, and then it gets stuck like that. You see, it won't reel back in until you do that. So yeah, it feels pretty plasticky and horrible. So I may keep it just as a spare. I'll probably whack some grease in there or something, but yeah, not happy with that, so I'll be putting off to one side. So effectively, from what I can see, may as well open this up now, why not? Hope you like the new camera position, by the way. I'm trying something a bit different. Obviously got my new light set up, got one up here and one up there, the other one's up there, so I'm hoping it looks alright. Okay, so we have back on. So this is obviously the housing here. We have this gear here. This looks like it fits over that there, which it does, nice and snug. This is where the shaft goes in to actually spin it around and start it. We've got 4 screws, and there's 4 screws on there, which is good. So give me a moment, I'll have a look at this and see what I've got to do. So I'll be back in a minute. It would have been super handy to have instructions with this, but from what I've found, I have no idea what this piece is for. It's just a plastic spacer, little hole in there. I've worked out that, well, this is the actual case. So you have this, which is one gear, and this drives this gear, which fits over the nuts on there. It's got a one-way bearing in it, so when it starts this doesn't keep spinning. So that goes on there. So that goes in. There's 2 different sides to it. There's a shorter side and a longer side. different sizes as well. So the shorter side, one with the shorter ring on it, that goes in there. That plate goes on, and it fits in pretty much any orientation on there. So I'll talk about that in a minute. And the case is held together with one screw. This is a little hex screw, and that goes through the top right hand corner as you're looking at it. This confused me to start. So that goes in there, and you have the 3 longer screws which actually feed straight through, and they screw into the actual engine. So what I'm going to do is, before I actually seal this all up, I'm going to put a bit of grease in there just so it's nice and lubricated, and then we'll fit that to that, and then I'm just going to talk about the orientation of it because it's quite important. So yeah, still no idea what that washer is for, because if I actually place this washer, it fits inside that hole nicely there, but when you go to put this in, put the back plate on, and we actually slide it onto that nut there, it doesn't actually go on all the way, and it won't go on because that washer's in the way. So that washer doesn't belong there, and there's nowhere else it's going to fit in the back plate, so I have no idea what it's for. When you take it out and you fit it all again, see, fits flush. So if you know what that space is for, let me know, but no idea what that's for. So I'm going to mount this up now, and then we'll talk about the orientation. I thought I'd show you where I'm going to be greasing it. I may as well. Being as there's no bearings in here, I'm just going to put a light layer of grease over pretty much every surface that's going to have something spinning against it. So first thing I'm going to do, you can see this ring here, this is where the shaft actually spins it. And that's rubbing metal on metal. Not for very long, but I just want to make sure it's properly lubricated. So I'm just going to put a slight, this is my grease of choice, extra heavy duty grease from Lucas. It is waterproof because I'll probably be running this through a little bit of water, maybe some snow, so I just want to make sure that it's sealed okay. So I'm just going to put a little light layer around that ring there. Place that in, just like that, just so it's got a nice seal around it. So work that round, do that. Then we're going to fit in this. This is obviously the main drive gear, so I'm just going to put a bit of grease in that plastic bit there, because obviously the metals can be spinning against that plastic a little bit, so I just put a little bit around there. So if you get a little bit on, it'll work its way around once it spins. So like that, spin that round, and then you obviously want to get a bit of grease on the actual gears inside there as well. So just a little bit of that in, just put a big dollop in actually, that'll work its way around. Like a bit more in. It's not going to be spinning particularly fast, and it's not going to keep spinning when the engine's running because of that one-way bearing in that there. So it's just going to be spinning for the time that you're going to be starting it, which hopefully shouldn't be very long, but just to make sure that it's not going to strip any gears out or run poorly, just make sure that that's got a nice layer of grease all over it. So that already spins a little bit better. So I'm going to seal it up. So that's one side. It's got a bevel all the way around, which actually fits nicely into there. Obviously it doesn't fit the other way, so I'm going to place that down a minute. I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of grease in this top bit here. That's enough. I'm just going to place that onto there, and then one screw. So I've got the little screw here, goes in the top right. It's quite a thin plastic. This only screws into the back plate, into this plate here. It's very thin, so you don't want to put too much pressure on it, or otherwise you'll strip it out. It's not too important because the actual other screws cinch it on anyway and hold it onto the engine. So yeah, so that's one sealed Roto-starter unit. So happy with that. It looks really good. And it's nice and solid. not much play in that, and once that's actually attached to there, there's going to be no play at all, and that will spin really nicely. So now we're going to talk about the orientation of how to put it onto the engine. So this Roto-start actually fits any orientation on the back of the engine, like that. It'll fit like that, it'll screw in like that, or like that. So this is important because we're going to be mounting the engine into there. Just roughly fit it in there, and you can see there's not a lot of access to actually put the shaft through to connect to the Roto-start and actually spin it up. So the orientation that I've picked is that one there. So it's on the right hand side. So we fit that in, and all we have to do is compress the suspension a tiny little bit. You won't be able to see this on camera, but there's actually a little bit of a gap just to push the shaft through and start that up, get that spinning, and then put it straight back out again. So that's the way we're going to fix it on. I'll show you better when it's actually attached into the car, into the bullet. But yeah, so that's the orientation just there. Give you a good idea. So I'll adjust the camera and I'll show you actually putting it on. Back to this camera position. Got the 3 screws there. Got the back plate attached onto there. I'm going to make sure we're not actually getting any of that masking tape in there. That's just to cover up the exhaust manifold and the fuel inlet when it actually attaches, just to stop any grit and grime and dust getting in there. So what we're going to want to do is going to want to put a little bit of Loctite on the screws, just so when the engine's vibrating they don't actually undo themselves. So I'm using the blue stuff, not the red stuff. Blue stuff means you can unscrew it, the red stuff requires a little bit of heat. Just put a dollop of that on, and we can start screwing them in. So it's best just to get one in, and then you can actually sort out where the rest of them need to go. So once you get one attached, it does sort of stay there, and you can tighten the rest down. So I just place these in. That's one, and then that's the other one. So you are screwing straight into the block, well, not straight into the block, but a plate on the block. So, and it is metal, so you just want to be careful that you're not stripping anything out. Do it nice and gently, and then once that's attached, we can put it in the car. So I'll tighten those up now. So the wheels are big enough on the actual Bullet that you can get it up on its side and it will stay relatively still. So I've put a little bit of Loctite on the screws to mount the engine, just so they don't vibrate out of place. So I'm just going to place the engine. We've got these 4 holes here, and it's actually adjustable for different size pinions or just to adjust the pinion mesh. So I'm just going to screw these in very slightly for now. There we go. They don't want them too tight, otherwise you won't be able to adjust it. So engine just about holds on there. Get another one in. There you go. So you still want to be able to sort of adjust it up and down. Might have done that one a bit too tight. Just do that one a little bit. See, you've still got some room for adjustment there for the pinion, and I'm going to be showing you how to adjust the pinion gear in a minute. There, that's one. There we go. And the last one. So see, I've already got a few scratches on the bottom of it. That's just from going up and down curbs, but not too bothered. Hasn't broken anything yet, so not too concerned. So there we go. Still got some sort of play in there, so we can adjust the pinion to where we want it. So you can see the pinion and the spur there meshing together. And what we want to do is we want to get a thin bit of paper, just your standard thickness of paper, and you just want to feed that into the mesh there. This is a bit difficult on this RC because this is in the way. Move these fuel cables out of the way. They just unclip like that. need it a bit thinner actually. That's good enough. I'm going to feed that into there. Come on. Like that, there you go. So feed that in. Make sure that's tight and it's all straight, and then tighten it down. And then when you actually when it's all tightened up, you can pull that bit of paper out, and there's just a slight bit of gap between the gears, and that's the right pinion mesh to get. So I'm going to do that now. It's very fiddly to do on camera, so I'm going to do it off camera, and then we can get on with getting the rest of it assembled. There we go, got the pinion all set. It's a nice smooth gear if I spin it. There's no horrible grinding noises, it's all straight and all nice gap. Got the exhaust fitted. It's leaking a bit of oil out the bottom from the fuel. Just stuffed it with a bit of paper towel for now. Got all the fuel lines in, got to clean the air filter, fit the air filter, and then that would be all sorted. Connected up the throttle link there. That servo actually centres just there. I might take that off and just centre it back there. Oh, you can't actually see. Yeah, so I've got the servo all sorted there with the throttle linkage just there. So yeah, that's pretty much done. Just got to clean the air filter and get it going. So hopefully that'll be it. That's it for episode 3 for the Nitro project. Hopefully that's sorted out the starting issue. I'm going to get this running hopefully soon when the actual Roto-start shaft arrives. Get some more runs on with this thing. I've had about 6 or 7 runs with it. Really enjoy it. It's obviously completely different to electric, and I quite like the change. So yeah, I'm excited to get this going. Just got to clean the air filter, fit the air filter, and then we'll get it running. So yeah, that's it for episode 3. Thanks for watching. It's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, so happy with that. And yeah, I hope you found this helpful too. I did do a quick search of Roto-start backplate fitting, and I couldn't actually find a video, so hopefully if you're out there, this actually helps you fit that Roto-start backplate to your Bullet 3.0. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to check out the Facebook and Twitter pages, links are down below in the description. And that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in RC Projects. Goodbye.